It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Video Teleconference. We're in advance of Sunday's race at Dover International Speedway. That's the Camping World RV 400 presented by AAA. Race 2 in the 2008 Chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. Today, our guest is Jeff Burton, driver of number 31 AT&T Mobility Chevrolet. He joins us from the NASCAR Research and Development Center in Concord, North Carolina. Jeff comes into Dover 5th in the series standings. Jeff, you're in pretty good shape after the first week of the Chase. You won this race at Dover 2 years ago, so pretty easy to imagine you feeling confident coming into this weekend's event.
Well, I thought last weekend went pretty well for us. Obviously, there were some other people that went a little better for, but you know, I've said it for the last 3 or 4 weeks. I really believe that our best stuff is ahead of us. I think that you know, we stand to run really well the next 9 weeks. So we got off to a good start, a real solid start for sure. And you know, now it's on to the next one. It's 1 week at a time, and we've put a lot of focus into each and every race. Feel really good about what we've done to get ready for Dover, and you know, we'll see what happens Sunday.
Excellent. We'll go to the media now for questions for today's NASCAR Cam guest, Jeff Burton.
Thank you. The question and answer session will be conducted electronically. If you wish to ask a question today, you may do so by pressing the star key, followed by the digit 1 on your touch-tone telephone. If you're using a speakerphone today, we ask that you depress your mute button so that your signal can reach our equipment. And once again, that is star 1 to ask a question, and we'll pause for just a brief moment to assemble our queue. We'll first hear today from Mark Dakotas with Florida Today.
Jeff, thanks for your time today. In light of what's going on with Tony Jr. and Tony Sr., without getting into specifics, can you talk about the relationship between the crew chief and the driver and how important it is for that driver to give specific, concise feedback back to the crew chief? Thank you.
Well, I think it's exceptionally important for the crew chief and the driver to be able to communicate. You know, I hear a lot of crew chief driver combinations, you know, make the comment, hey, we always think alike, and I actually think that's not very good at all. I think that, you know, pushing each other and being able to disagree with each other and do it in a productive way, I think it's actually what makes it work the best. I believe that, you know, that there has to be a lot of respect, and people have to, you know, the crew chief has to respect the driver has to respect the crew chief, and both have to understand that they both have each other's interest at heart and are given 100%, and then it just turns into results. I mean, you know, there's times that people, you know, really like working with each other, but they don't get results. There's times that people don't like working with each other at all and get results. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's all about results. But typically, at this level, when you get talented people that all have the right dedication, typically those things work out pretty well.
Mr. Dakotas, anything further?
No, thank you.
We'll now move to Bill Fleischman with Philadelphia Daily News.
Hi, Jeff. 2 years ago, you'll well recall, you got off to a really good start in the Chase, and I think you led for 4 consecutive weeks. Greg Biffle, by winning at New Hampshire, has sort of come out of a dark horse category, I guess, and is now a contender. If you could give Greg a little advice at this point in the Chase, what would you tell him?
Well, I don't think that I'd be giving Greg advice, but I think I'd be giving the media and the fans advice is that, you know, don't read too much into 1 week. I think it's important to understand that, you know, this is a 10-week stretch. I mean, so much happens in 10 weeks. We've already seen it in 1 week. You know, we saw Matt Kenseth had a lot of trouble. You know, obviously got into a wreck, and he started with a deficit anyway because of the race wins versus Kyle and Jimmy and Carl, and now, you know, he's even at a bigger deficit. There's a team you can't count out. They're solid. They're tough. Matt's a great race car driver. I mean, they're not out of it. You know, just because Greg Biffle won the first race of the deal, that doesn't mean he's going to win it. You know, we saw the same thing happen 2 years ago, the year you referred to. You know, Harvick won the first race, and you know then he had trouble in the second race, and really wasn't a factor in the championship. You know, he made a good run, but because he had trouble, that outweighed the good races. So it's just too early to be, you know, deciding who's going to win and who's not going to win. It's just way too early. I mean, I said that last week before the thing even started. You know, there's 3 drivers that everybody picked. You know, it's one of those 3 drivers going to win the chase. I think people are crazy to think that. I know that they're the ones that, you know, deserve the consideration for sure based on what they've done. But people that watch racing, you know, ought to remember that 2 races out of 10 can completely ruin a guy's chance to win a championship. So you just never know what's going to happen. You have to take one race at a time. You have to pay attention to one race at a time. And, you know, I can't be worried about Talladega right now. I need to worry about Dover. When Dover's over, then we'll go worry about the next race. So it's one race at a time, and 10 races is an eternity, and a lot of stuff's going to happen over the next 10 races.
Okay, thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Trevor Williams with Denton Record Chronicle.
Yes, Jeff, you were just mentioning Talladega. Can you talk about the tracks that make up the chase? Any favorites or ones you don't look forward to? In your opinion, on whether a road course should be added in the future?
Well, I think that the racetracks ought to be representative of what we do the majority of the year. I mean, if you look at, you know, how many 1.5 mile racetracks we run, that percentage ought to be close to the percentages that we run in the regular season. Same with super speedways, same with road courses. Under that formula, it would preclude a road course from being in the chase. I think it would be, I don't think it would be a good thing for our sport for 50% of the road courses to be represented in the chase. I don't think that's right. That has nothing to do whether I think I'm good at them or not. It just has to do with simple logic. If we ran 6 road course races or 5 road course races, then you can start to make an argument. But because we run so few of them, I don't think that they belong in the chase. As far as racetracks that I'm looking forward to, you know, I mean, honestly, when I look at the tracks, I think we've won, I wouldn't know this, somebody told me this, but I think we've won at 6 of the 10 racetracks that we go to. I know we haven't won at Talladega. I know we haven't won at Homestead. I know we haven't won at Kansas. But I feel good about those racetracks. I look at last year at Homestead. Dumb driver made a mistake, but we probably had the best car on the racetrack. I hit the wall lap like lap 5 and had to make up 2 laps, and we had a great car. Never won there, but I feel good about it. Talladega is a wild card. I mean, you know, chances are some people that are involved in the chase are going to get into wrecks at Talladega. I mean, it's just that simple. I mean, that's what the odds tell you. So, you know, me personally, I don't look at any racetrack and say, wow, I can't wait to get there, but I don't look at any racetracks and do, oh my God, I'm not excited about going to a particular place either.
Anything further, Mr. Williams?
No, sir.
And as a reminder, that is *1 to ask a question. We'll now move to David Caravello.